Greetings and welcome. My name is Michael Miller. This is a Michael Miller trademark training video out to you because you're watching. Thank you and welcome. It's meant for Michael Miller Pilates licensed affiliates, first and foremost. And then the Corner Core. And then my patrons, Clayton and Ruby and Stephanie. Thank you for helping me keep Hermit.com online and available. It's great to have patrons patrons that keep that information accessible. And so then, bottom line, this is for anyone interested in surviving and thriving as a Pilates instructor or student. And this broadcast is always, hopefully, this broadcast, 1,096 days ago, it was July 1st, at least in how I phrased the question to Google, but it was July 1st, 2016. So 1,096 days ago, I started this routine of intermediate reformer, take notes, organize notes, come in front of the camera, and first here on YouTube, and then following in Facebook. So there's slim to no viewership of my YouTube broadcast, which is what it is, and yet I've taken it as definitely one part of the spectrum of my effort to deliver comment on the notes, and where on YouTube it might take longer and get more, or is more explorative, in depth. It's as though that's a synthesis of, or hopefully in Facebook, it comes out shorter and more concise and hopefully clearer, right? I have 5 topics today. The first one, 1,096 days, it was 3 years ago. And I never would have imagined that I would have broadcast for so long and found it fulfilling enough to not feeling the need to teach in person as an instructor. Now, I think that builds, or it goes up and down over time. For me, it has, but I got to teach my favorite person in the world a little Pilates, and actually to act as an instructor for just a brief moment in time with a favorite person of mine, and it's why you and I and everybody else enjoy being Pilates instructors, because it's so fulfilling. Hopefully in this broadcast and getting this point of view, so all I have to give you is 2 things. I consider them both to be identifications. One is biomechanical, and the other is a point of view of Pilates. The biomechanical is one thing, and the point of view of Pilates is just one point of view out of as many people who are running a simulation of what Pilates means to them. Right? Because whatever, or supposedly Pilates is out there, whether by fact or fiction. It's what you make of it within yourself that influences how, or what you make of that information, that point of view. So how did I get off into that? 3 years broadcasting. And so reflectively, or looking over my shoulder at what started 3 years ago as a serious routine of the Daily Intermediate Reformer, according to Hermit.com, Intermediate Reformer list. And I've lived within that and taking notes and coming here and making a broadcast about the identification of core new tension and a point of view of Pilates. Number 2. Of course, there's a whole lot to say about that point of view, but there are other episodes for that. Number 2. The title is, Are You the Spoon, or are you holding the spoon? Did I say that right? I don't think I said it right. Here's the title. Are you in the spoon, or are you holding the spoon? So, if I've got a spoon here, I should have a spoon. If I have a spoon here, and it's got hollow in it, right? As a Pilates instructor, are you what's in the spoon, or are you holding the spoon? Half the people said, well, both, of course. It's amazing having such a robust chorus in your head. And so diverse. But that diversity and the strength of chorus, the burden then becomes on, for me, I think, to be clearer, as clear as you can be in at least what you're communicating, so that others can make of it what they want. Whether it's good or bad, just be clear. So, in the spoon or holding the spoon, like medicine, are you the medicine as the Pilates instructor? Or are you holding the spoon and delivering medicine? For me, it always comes down to, essence or no essence. And if there's essence, then what is it? What is the medicine? Because to the extent, as an instructor, you want to survive as an instructor, when you have more conviction about what it is that makes it so special, it doesn't have to be the only conviction, just being aware of CT and MMP empowers you, I think, to refine and filter your, talking about me now, my emotional response to what I see on social media that brought me down to the label of Pilates antics. Okay, antics. And why is that? Because antics, in an archaic interpretation, is meant as grotesque and bizarre, which seemed not so archaic to me when I'm watching some of this movement. And then a more contemporary definition of antics, beyond grotesque and bizarre, is an attention-drawing, often wildly playful or funny act or action. And so, for a discerning soul like myself, looking at the vast spectrum of Pilates expression, some of it very, very much strikes me as antics. At least bizarre, and perhaps grotesque, depending on your flavor and how discriminating or discerning or, how good intention the movement is. Can't really be grotesque, but it can be far from what it could be. And that the movement, as a contemporary definition, an attention drawing, so it draws attention, often wildly playful or funny act or action. So what's different between, where else in the spectrum is there from wildly playful when demonstrating movement, and is the movement that you demonstrate even meant to display Pilates? So what's Pilates? All right, so antics. So it wouldn't, okay, all right, so what's the target? What's the target? And very often I use the target as what Joe named his method, contrology, right? Contrology is complete coordination of body, mind, and spirit. He named that. I think it's obvious that that is an experience. Body, mind, and spirit. That's what I said, right? And I lost my train of thought. And aiming at the target of control as a way of getting a sense of what you're looking at as movement. If it's Pilates, why is it Pilates? And if it's not Pilates, why isn't it Pilates? In what ways does it resonate, and what ways is it dissonant? So, because the target is control, to the extent that, to what extent is wildly playful an expression of control? Now, yes, maybe so, and it's up to you to be the judge on all that. But in evaluating what seems like antics versus perhaps something else that is different than whatever else, what makes that distinction? It's the degree of control being expressed. It's the type of control being expressed. Degree and type, those are both two good things. Excuse me, so number 4. For some reason, I took a picture of a flyer I had from a long time ago workshop. Bruce King, as a matter of fact, if we're name dropping and indulging in that, I do him honor by mentioning him, but don't mean to associate anything more than that. But it was a long time ago, and I got contacted by someone who's trying hard to be somebody in the Pilates culture. And they're really, anyway, their interaction with me made me think that, because they wanted access to the flyer. They wanted the flyer. Would I just send that to them? And to survive as a Pilates instructor, you have to recognize treasure hunters is one of the labels I came up with. People seeking, right, remnants in the attic, assembling their own collection, not remnants, relics. So we're talking about relics. And the pursuit of relics in the assumption that there is a holy grail within the relics. And in addition to people that want right past you to relics for whatever, are those that are also, through the relics, looking for the Holy Grail, or seeking more of what I think is assumed to be the unknowable, rather than an answer to or an explanation of what it is. The second, perhaps the an expression of a student that comes to you. There we go, now we're on it, I think. They want an answer. They want to understand. And they're looking for an answer in the relics in the attic. They're looking for an answer from Joe's original work. What is the way to do something? What's the right way to do it? So, a while ago it was breathing on the leg circles on the mat. And recently it's teaser and open leg rocker and seeking for clarity within Joe's original work. And to a large extent, that means within classical Pilates. Even if you go beyond that and outside of that, when you're after the relics in the attic, relics, yeah. Okay. Joe's book, Return to Life Through Contrology. Okay. is where the MMP point of view comes from. Can we agree that he wrote that book? And that in that book there are 3 things that are the foundation of the point of view of MMP. So, alright, so I'm dying to try to do this example right. This demonstration right. Okay, so. What I know about Pilates as an individual is like this puzzle piece. And it's unique to me, and yet there are other puzzle pieces out there, and they're different in shape. And if this is my simulation of Pilates, this is what I know about Pilates, this is everything that has to do with the word Pilates for me as an individual, and another individual has Pilates in themselves or from their point of view, right? So if you're all visually acute, are you where is this going? See? And it's like what you know and what you know, a lot of it seems to go together. Go together. Huh. But, Michael, it's not there that works. This is a good example of, okay, Michael, figure this out. Alright, so, right? So, now when it comes to Pilates, there's 2 people that have a view of Pilates that is consistent in nature because it looks the same, right? So the title of this, as a teacher, to you, teacher, making an exercise, helping someone deal with gnawing on the archives and the relics to get to the truth of the matter. I don't give the box, I don't have the box, I just have puzzle pieces. A big puzzle piece, and a select group of pieces that are not in the puzzle because they have labels on them, they have text, for one thing, but then they're missing, and that's the point, is that within the archives, within the original work of Pilates, the picture that you want, the complete picture, the complete understanding that you want, isn't there. Now, if you think better, we'll drag out your relics and my relics and we'll compare. In doing the exercise, I give everyone some puzzle pieces and tell them this is every exercise, this is everything you'll ever learn from me about Pilates. And I hand that to everybody, right? All different pieces, their worlds, what matters to them. And then, of course, the point is you can be happy with and just keep your pieces private, just for you, and become part of your puzzle or view. But to the extent that enough people share pieces and assemble the puzzle, is there anything more satisfying than seeing pieces go together? Well, sure, in a way, because why? Because more than just fitting together, it might reveal something more than whatever it is that joins them by fitting together. It's like, whoa. Well, it's at least a different color, right? This side's white, this side looks like yellow, but so when the attendees to the workshop are putting this puzzle together, as they put it together, what happens? Because I'm not asking them to put it together white on white. I'm asking them to put it together color up. So not just white on white, but see what does this mean? What does this mean? So if it's not just this, but it's like this, and you look at them, and now see, can I do this? And you look at them there, like that, right? Wow. Alright, so that's just part of the puzzle, but it reveals so much. And yet, does it reveal everything in just 2 pieces? So, first of all, the lesson is that what you're looking for in terms of an absolute answer or a definite way that this is what it is within the original work, it is not there. It doesn't exist. And people that have archives make a living off of holding on to what they have as though there is some higher understanding within the archives than you can have just by reading Joe's book and getting it. Not the book, what it says. So, the sad thing is that people passionate about Pilates are trying to get their answers, and it's not an answer that they'll like or even get or want to surrender to, I think is the right word, because the pursuit of swimming upstream toward the original work gets you into a position where you can more and more discern for yourself where something came from. So if you recognize either the ambitions of someone treasure hunting and coveting your relics, whatever you got in your attic, as far as stuff about Pilates or training and blah blah, the biggest thing as an instructor with a student who's seeking to discern what is the right way, what's the way, what is Pilates, right? Assembling the puzzle pieces lets you see the assembled picture. And when you say, well, what is this a picture of? When you've got the sun and the 8 planets and the moon, right? The planets within this solar system, you've got a picture of something that is meant to represent something complete unto itself, right? The whole picture. And yet within that picture, I love it, there's a spiral way off in the distance of another galaxy. The point in my head right now is that the value of MMP is that it gives you at least a way of evaluating what you're seeking discernment in. From the perspective of being in pursuit of Joe's original work and the name of his method being contrology, having control being a lot to do with how you are evaluating things. So number 5, the last one, the Pilates matrix. The Pilates matrix. I'm smiling because I just came across a graphic of an iceberg with the top of the iceberg being labeled perception and the bottom of the iceberg being labeled reality. And so when my title is The Pilates Matrix, and this division between perception and reality, in the movie The Matrix there's the blue pill and the red pill. The red pill and the blue pill, I think, is the order presented. But the blue pill, everything stays the same, and the red pill is you go beneath the surface to what's more real than just what is perception. Okay? From the point of view of MMP, that is based on a theory that there is an ideal within Joe's book that results in an experience. Okay, so see, oh man, you want to survive as a Pilates instructor? I think it helps to know, it helps to have good teachers. It helps to be introduced to an ideal point of view. Because if there's anything to it as an ideal, then at least it will be the same no matter what else comes up, comes true, or comes to look at it. But the truth within it will be there above as well as below. I guess see that. So if you were to contrast two words, one might be informed and the other might be uninformed. There you go. Same word, just different prefix. You can be uninformed about the reality, or you can be informed to the reality. And then in evaluating control, why do we seek control? to survive. To survive what? The gravity jungle. I gotta go do Facebook. And I hope you do better at embracing enthusiasm without and not alienating it. Because life can't live forever. Read between the lines, see behind the curtain, add to and to after you've evaluated points of view. Direct your own thinking. Recognize when you are and when you're not, if you can. I try to, but I always can't. And of course, Geist